Have you ever wondered why the same storm can break one person and build another? Why some people seem to stay grounded while others spin out the moment life gets messy? What if the real battlefield isn't out there in the world, but in your mind? What if you could train that mind like a muscle to stay calm, focused, and unshakable no matter what life throws at you? Most people suffer more in their imagination than in reality, and they don't even realize it. Welcome to the Stoic Path. Today, we're unlocking 11 Stoic strategies to help you level up not just in theory, but in the way you live, breathe, and show up every day. Let's begin. Make yourself a priority. If you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, if your days feel like a blur of obligations and noise, you're not alone. Life is messy. And for a lot of us, putting ourselves last has become the default. We're told it's noble to give endlessly, to push through, to be strong by staying silent. But here's the truth. Stoicism reminds us you can't pour from an empty cup. Let that sink in for a second. Making yourself a priority isn't selfish, it's responsible. Because when you're grounded physically, mentally, emotionally, you're able to show up fully for the people and the things that truly matter. Start small. 5 minutes in the morning before the world starts shouting. Breathe, write, stretch. Speak a truth to yourself. I am capable. I rise above challenges. Yes, it might feel awkward at first. That's okay. What you repeat, you begin to believe. You're not chasing good feelings, you're training your mind. And just like any practice, it takes consistency. Another piece, boundaries. There are people patterns, even habits in your life that drain your energy without asking permission. Start asking yourself, does this serve me? And if the answer is no, it's time to draw the line. Because prioritizing yourself is how you reclaim your power. It's how you stop living as a background character in your own life. This isn't about ego. It's about essence. When you honor yourself first, you create space for growth, clarity, and connection. So ask yourself today, what's one small thing I can do just for me? What does it look like to truly treat myself with respect? Start there, the rest will follow. Enhance your appearance with purpose. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't about chasing trends. It's not about impressing others or trying to look perfect all the time. This isn't vanity, it's self-respect. Think about it. When you feel good in your own skin, you show up differently. You speak with more clarity. You carry yourself with more conviction. And that energy, people feel it before you even say a word. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control, and your appearance, how you groom, how you dress, how you carry yourself. That's one of the few things that's entirely in your hands. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about trying to be someone else. It's about presenting the real you clearly and intentionally. Your style doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be yours. Authentic, clean, put together in a way that tells the world I respect myself, I'm here, and I'm ready. Even the smallest things, brushing your hair, ironing your shirt, standing up straight, send signals to your own mind that you matter. Because when you dress with purpose, you begin to act with purpose. It's not about appearances for appearance's sake, it's about alignment. When the outside reflects the strength and clarity you're building on the inside, everything clicks. So ask yourself today, how can I show up, not just for the world, but for myself. What version of me walks with quiet confidence, and what small change could I make today to let that version of me lead? Because the way you show up matters, not for approval, but for the message it sends to your own soul. I am worthy of my own care, and that my friend is the kind of power that no one can take from you. Use the power of a smile. I get it. Some days, smiling feels impossible. Maybe you're stuck in traffic, running late, your phone's buzzing, your mind's spiraling, and the last thing you feel like doing is smiling. But here's the thing. Smiling isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about choosing your attitude even when life isn't cooperating. When you smile, even if you have to fake it. At first, your brain doesn't know the difference. It starts releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. Your breath slows, your body softens, your mind begins to shift. That's not magic. That's biology. And Stoicism understood that long before science gave it a name. Smiling in tough moments isn't weakness, it's a quiet rebellion. A way of saying, yes, this is hard, but I'm choosing calm over chaos. And here's what most people don't realize. Your smile doesn't just help you. It changes the world around you. Smiles are contagious. One small curve can interrupt someone's storm, and often it circles right back to you. Even your voice changes when you smile. Try it. Next time you're on a call, smile while speaking, you'll notice it. And so will they. So how do you make it real? Start small. Smile before you get out of bed. Smile at yourself in the mirror, no matter how messy your hair looks. Smile at the stranger you pass in the hallway or at your own reflection after a long day. Not to fake joy, but to choose strength. To reinforce the mindset, I face life with grace, even when it's not easy. Because in a world that's often tense and reactive, a sincere smile is radical. It's Stoic strength in its simplest form. Narrator, soft but powerful. So go ahead, smile today, for no reason, or for every reason, because that small act of courage might just change your whole day, and someone else's too. Be kind, but set boundaries. Let's clear something up. Being kind doesn't mean being available 24/7. It doesn't mean saying yes when your soul is screaming no. Kindness isn't weakness. It's strength, under control. Here's the thing. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your time, your energy, or your peace. Read that again. You can love people deeply and still protect your space. You can care about others without carrying their chaos. Stoicism teaches us this essential truth. We are responsible only for what's within our control, and that includes how we manage our boundaries. It doesn't mean you shut people out. It means you create space to breathe, to stay grounded in who you are, not who others want you to be. Saying no isn't rejection, it's direction. It's you choosing to spend your energy where it truly matters. And here's the beauty. When you set boundaries with kindness, you reduce conflict, not create it. You don't have to defend or explain. A simple, respectful, I can't commit to that is enough. And over time, people begin to understand you are kind, but not a pushover. So the next time someone's demands start pulling you off balance, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If it's not, let it go. Because boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges. They help you stay connected without getting consumed. And when you respect your own limits, you give others permission to do the same. That's not just Stoic wisdom, that's emotional mastery. So be kind, be generous, but also be clear, and let your boundaries be the quiet signal that says, I value my peace, and I choose to protect it. Stay calm in chaos. We've all felt it, that moment when everything hits at once. Deadlines pile up, phones won't stop buzzing, and your brain feels like it's on fire. But here's what the Stoics would say. You don't have to match the chaos. You can rise above it. Your calm is your superpower. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and repeat. Box breathing. Simple, powerful, ancient. Why does it work? Because it brings you back to now. And in the now, you are not overwhelmed. You are in control of your response. This isn't about ignoring stress. It's about disarming it. Because when you're calm, your mind is clearer, your emotions settle, and you make better decisions. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. And here's another Stoic tool that changes everything. Reframe it. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is no. What feels massive today, a missed deadline, a rough conversation, a mistake, shrinks with time and perspective. And the Stoics were masters at using perspective to protect their peace. Remember, you don't control the traffic. You don't control other people's moods or mistakes, but you do control your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. So instead of spiraling, pause, zoom out, and come back to your core. The world might be rushing, but you don't have to. Stay calm in the storm, not because you're ignoring reality, but because you're grounded in something deeper. That's Stoicism. That's inner leadership. So next time the chaos creeps in, breathe, reframe, and remind yourself, I'm in control of how I respond, and in this moment, I choose peace. Set your own course. In a world that's constantly telling you what to want, what to chase, what success should look like, one of the most powerful things you can do is pause and ask yourself, what do I truly value? What does success mean to me? Because here's the truth. The Stoics knew you can spend your entire life climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Success looks different for everyone, and yours should come from within, not from noise, not from pressure, not from comparison. Your values are your compass. They're the truths that steady you when life gets confusing. Is it freedom you crave, creativity, family, service, growth? Whatever it is, get clear on it. Because when your goals align with your values, you stop drifting. You start moving with purpose. You don't need to figure it all out today, and you don't need to know every step. But you do need direction. Your direction. The one that feels honest in your chest, even if it scares you a little. Stoicism teaches that the path to fulfillment isn't about comfort. It's about congruence, living in integrity with who you truly are. And yes, that might mean walking away from what's expected. It might mean disappointing others. But the deeper risk is betraying yourself. So set your own course and don't rush it. This isn't a race, it's a journey. One step at a time, one decision at a time, in alignment with heart, with clarity. Ask yourself today, if no one else had a say, what life would I choose? Then take one small step in that direction. Because your path already exists. You just have to be brave enough to walk it. Make your stand. Stand for something or fall for anything. It's one of life's hardest lessons because standing firm in who you are means sometimes you'll stand alone. But here's what the Stoics knew. Real strength isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't beg for applause. It's calm. It's rooted. It's living in integrity even when it's inconvenient. You don't need to shout your beliefs. Just live them. Let your actions speak louder than your opinions. When you know your values, when you're anchored in what matters most, you stop needing to explain yourself. That's power. And yes, sometimes that path gets lonely. People might misunderstand you, mock you, question your choices, but that's not your weight to carry. As Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. It sounds harsh, but it's freeing. Because the moment you stop living for approval, you start living in alignment. Making your stand doesn't mean arguing with everyone. It means choosing your battles, letting the little things go, and standing firm when it really counts. And when you live this way, when your words, your choices, your habits all reflect your values, people notice. Not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. There's a quiet magnetism to someone who knows who they are. So ask yourself, what do I believe in so deeply that I'd hold it even if no one stood beside me? Then live that, not just in moments of pressure, but in the everyday. Because the more consistent you are with your truth, the more unshakable you become. And that kind of strength, that inner clarity, that's what the Stoics called wisdom in action. Nurture your wit. Life gets heavy. There's no way around it. Deadlines, disappointments, detours. But in the middle of all that weight, you got a secret weapon. Humor, not sarcasm, not escape, but a deep, gentle wit that says, I see the chaos, and I'm not letting it crush me. Humor is armor, not to hide, but to lighten the load. The Stoics knew this. They weren't stone-faced statues. They were human, flawed, aware, and wise enough to laugh at themselves. As Seneca once said, he who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. That's not just funny. That's freeing. When you can laugh at your own awkwardness, when you can spot the absurdity in life's timing, you reclaim your power. You step out of your ego and into a kind of playful resilience. Wit keeps your spirit light. It helps you bounce back faster. It reminds you not to take yourself so seriously that you forget how strong, adaptable, and human you really are. And it's not just for you. Humor can soften a tense conversation. It can build bridges where arguments would burn them. It's a way of saying, I'm grounded enough to laugh even here. So today, try this. Notice the quirks, the interruptions, the irony in your everyday routine. And instead of groaning, smile, shrug, maybe even laugh a little, not because life is perfect, but because you are practicing perspective. And that, my friend, that lightness in the middle of the weight, that's real Stoic strength. Respect others without losing yourself. You can disagree without disrespect. You can hold your ground without raising your voice. And in a world where everyone seems to be shouting just to be heard, that kind of calm, that kind of respect, it's a superpower. Respect isn't submission. It's not rolling over. It's not pretending to agree. It's choosing to honor the dignity in someone else, even when you see the world differently. And it starts with how you listen. Most people listen to reply, but when you listen to understand, you create space for something rare. connection without conformity. You don't need to win every debate. You don't need to prove you're right. The Stoics knew arguing often wastes more energy than it's worth. But standing in your truth with kindness, with grace, with composure that earns real respect. Because the way you treat others, especially in conflict, reveals the depth of your character. Let people talk. Let them have their view. And when it's your turn, speak gently, stand tall. And then, let go. No drama, no lingering resentment, just clarity. Respect isn't just for others, it's for you too. When you stay composed, when you treat someone with dignity, even when they don't return it, you protect your peace. You walk away clean. That's strength. That's Stoicism. So today, remember this. You don't need to silence someone to be heard. You don't need to agree to be kind, because real respect starts with how you show up and stays in how you're remembered. Set clear parameters. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to feel guilty. And you sure don't need to sacrifice your peace to make someone else more comfortable. Stoicism teaches us that one of the most powerful things you can do is protect your inner world. And boundaries, they're how you do that. Not walls to shut people out, but gates to let the right things in. They protect your energy, they guard your focus, and they honor your values. But here's the catch. You have to know your limits before you can communicate them. What drains you? What fuels you? Where are you saying yes out of pressure when your soul is screaming no? Get clear. Then speak up. And don't wait for others to approve of your boundaries. They're not supposed to. Because boundaries aren't about control. They're about clarity. When you're consistent with them, you build trust with others and with yourself. People start to understand you are kind, but not endlessly available. You are generous, but not endlessly given. And here's something most people forget. Respecting your boundaries teaches others to respect theirs too. So, what does this look like in real life? It looks like turning off work notifications after dinner, saying I can't make it tonight without scrambling for a reason, declining with love and not carrying guilt around like a weight. Because the truth is, when you stop overcommitting, you start reconnecting with what actually matters. So today, give yourself permission to draw the line, to communicate it clearly, and to honor it even when it's uncomfortable. Because boundaries aren't selfish. They're self-respect in action. And when you protect your time and energy, you're not just creating distance, you're creating space for the life that truly fits. Cut out negative energy. Let's be honest, some people, habits, and thoughts, they don't just take up space, they drain you. And the longer you hold on to them out of guilt, fear, or routine, the more they cloud your mind, dull your spirit, and weigh you down. It's time to let them go. Stoicism teaches us this simple truth. You don't need to control the world. You just need to take responsibility for your own inner space. And that space, it's sacred. It's your mental home. So guard it like one. If someone in your life constantly brings tension, manipulation, or drama, you don't have to hate them. But you can create distance. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. And it's not just people. Negativity hides in the background noise, scrolling endlessly through things that irritate you, consuming media that fuels anxiety, getting lost in self-doubt and worst-case scenarios. You can't stop every negative thought, from entering your mind, but you can choose whether it stays. Notice the pattern. Interrupt it. Reframe it. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow or holding me back? If it's not serving your peace, your purpose, or your progress, let it go. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. Clean your space. Curate your feed. Watch how you speak to yourself. And build an environment inside and out that supports your strength. Because when you start cutting out what drains you, you make space for what fuels you. Focus, clarity, resilience, peace. This is your life, and you get to choose what you carry with you. So today, clear the clutter, say the goodbye, break the cycle. You're not being harsh, you're being honest. And in that space, you clear watch what begins to grow. You don't have to change the world overnight. You don't need to fix everything, prove everything, or be everything. You just need to change how you respond to stress, to pressure, to life. Each of these Stoic strategies, they're not just ideas, they're tools to help you stay steady in the storm and rise stronger from it. Brick by brick, breath by breath. That's how you build a resilient, grounded, meaningful life. Narrator warm, encouraging. So if something in this video spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you haven't already subscribed to join this journey with us, we're building a community grounded in wisdom, peace, and quiet strength. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Stay strong, stay grounded, and keep walking the Stoic path.